Today I want to share with you my personal story of my spiritual part of my life, and I want to particularly talk about the struggles I encounter, and I just feel I need to get this out, probably mainly as a self-therapy, and as I really have right now no one who can understand me on this topic. I'm just going to talk it to a camera in the hopes that maybe I will reach someone wherever you are, and you might understand me, and maybe in the end it even helps you to understand yourself better and your own situation. So yeah, where do I start? Difficult, but I would guess it starts with a rough awakening, they say. I heard already from others, psychedelics make for a rough awakening, and it definitely has been that way in my experience. And without having a real conceptual understanding of spirituality, of non-duality, of consciousness, of basically most of those things, I somehow got into magic mushrooms. And I have to be honest, I don't really remember what and how I heard about them, what put me on, and what made me interested in them, why I took them. And yeah, this was probably how long ago? Let me think. Good 4 years maybe. Yeah, 4 or 5 years. And this was at the time I was like third or fourth semester of my bachelor's degree. And yeah, it was not I felt this studies were not really 100% what was my interest, and so I had many other things I was interested in, mainly in health and fitness, and I also read some Buddhist books and learned about some things, but only very shallow, like how you should meditate and how you just something I couldn't really relate to. It was just rough on the surface, and so I guess somewhat connected to that, I heard something about psychedelics, and I've never taken any drugs before. Maybe smoked one half joint before, maybe 2 times in my whole life. Alcohol, not. I was drunk a few times, but not really drinking a lot, and so yeah, I had a few experiences. The first ones were of course only about the visions, the colors, the intense sounds, and it was fun. And then somewhat I had an intense experience, and quickly want to talk about how this particular experience happened and what actually happened. I fasted for health reasons for like 7 days. Then I had in the morning a couple of fruits and decided to take 3 grams of mushrooms, dried, powdered in lemon juice. Yeah, didn't know what I was getting into, and it got intense, to say the least. I quickly got this feeling of, okay, it's happening again. I somehow quickly knew something big was around the corner. When the first shifts had like a underlying intensity to them already, and I went outside before that, and it was somehow chilly. And when I took the mushrooms, and from the fasting probably also, I felt really cold. So when this trip started, I was thinking, okay, you have to get back home, get warm as quickly as possible. I somehow managed to get back home. I had to walk for like 15 minutes and it got really intense already, and I was shivering, but I made it home. I went into my room, lay in my bed, and I think I didn't even put off the jacket, and I somehow turned some music on, and then it showed me a lot more than I was ready for at the time, and I feel since then a lot of what I learned has still brought just memories back of this trip. And yeah, the first few weeks after that were pretty rough. I was constantly having reminders of the trip. I was dreaming. When I was dreaming, I was tripping again, and yeah, I wouldn't recommend that particularly this way to other people. I would say educate yourself as much as possible. Try to have a rough idea of what you are getting into, and start slow, and don't just take 3 grams dried after 3 dried grams after fasting for a week. That probably is a bad combination, or what means bad, I mean, it brought me on this spiritual journey, but probably from the enzymes that are down-regulated during fasting, it's a much more intense experience. But yeah, I basically experienced ego death and all that's all that's involved in taking a psychedelic, and yeah, this basically started me on the path, and I tried to forget about it for a few months after that and didn't really look into it again. But then somehow I still had mushrooms. I took them again, and I think twice again, and then lower dose, of course, but then still they were kind of really intense and much more than I expected. And yeah, my interest like never went away because I couldn't understand what happened to me, and then later I started reading books again, and try to understand what happened to me. So let me quickly check if this is still recording. Yep, for a second I thought I was talking all the time without it recording, but it's still. So where was I? Yeah, and since then it hasn't been so easy. I got into meditation. I was already meditating before that, but meditation took on another degree of importance, I guess. And yeah, I was basically struggling, and just a few hours ago I had an intense meditation session where I realized a few things again, and basically I could sense the illusion of everything, because suddenly my body dissolved. I could feel my body, but I could see through the illusion of it. I could see how this is all a mental image, basically, or a mental feeling constructed within my brain, and the brain, of course, being a part of my body, being an illusion also. So illusion holding up an illusion, and it's this crazy thing that's just non-dual. And yeah, basically a lot of emotions came back from the trip, and I'm not really able to talk to much people about this. I only met one person so far from that I met online, and we understand each other quite well, and we're able to talk about many things, and it helped me to a great extent, but it's still hard, and I decided I need to learn more about this or get deeper into it. So I booked for myself a dark room retreat for 2 weeks. I don't know if it's too intense for me at my level of understanding, but I will do it beginning of next year. And yeah, this is going to be my next step, because I still fear taking psychedelics. I tried a few low dose things, but I only got to the surface of what such a trip, or where such a trip can take you. And I hope that the Darkroom Retreat will be more gradual in what I will learn from it, and it will still be intense. I guess it's in a dark room, silent, alone for 2 weeks, and you yeah, you can imagine how intense that is. It's basically 24/7 being aware, meditating, nowhere, nothing to distract you, and so yeah, but it's always an up and down. It's not straight on the path. You have great times where you feel you are improving on your meditation, and then it is like you build up all these concepts again, and it makes you feel great, and then all this is taken away again and turned upside down in and of itself. Nothing really, it's basically groundless, and the deeper you get, the more your ego struggles, and this is what I feel yeah, has happened to me many occasions. So it's always an up and down, and then it somehow pulls me out of my practices. I get discouraged. I try to find new meaning in my life. I go out and do more stuff. I get more active, and but basically I always know this is just a distraction from what I actually have, or not have to do. I don't feel I need to do anything. I'm on the most basic things. I'm really happy with my life, but still I know there's something greater around the corner, basically, and yeah. And the other thing is, I recently just quit my job, and now it's over. I'm not employed anymore. Somehow a new employment showed up without me really wanting it, but I want the job, so I took that on, and I will go with that for some time now. But I basically feel much more free right now. This new job offers also a lot more freedom to me, and yeah, with the freedom comes also the question again, what do you fill your life with? And I struggle with that still. I don't really have a long-term vision. Yeah, just difficulties describing also the feelings. I don't know, it's not easy. Yeah, so probably, I don't know if you are still can relate to what I'm saying, but the point I want to make is the path is really not a straight thing, and it will always pull you, throw you back, and you feel you're back where you started and nothing has improved, and then you feel great again, and it's a roller coaster ride. There are the ups that feel good, you should enjoy them but not cling to them, and then there will be definitely coming downs that hit you harder than you could imagine, and it feels like you go insane and your world falls apart, and be prepared. It's tough, and maybe you have already experienced this. Let me know, please, what helped you through your struggles, and especially what did you do when you feel like you have no person anymore that can relate to anything that's meaningful to you, that you really want to share, that you want to talk about, that you need help with personally, and basically how many % of the population are like on a path to get serious understanding of truth, and yeah, it gets pretty lonely on that path. And to come back to that idea of loneliness, that was also probably the toughest realization I had on in my first intense mushroom experience, was when I came back at this realization. It's of course non-dual, everything is one, I am it, there's nothing separate than me, it's this illusion that it creates the feeling of others and yeah, having this like really put into your face without being ready for it, that's tough. And it's still, some days it makes me depressed. I don't know why. I attach too much meaning to it. Maybe it's in the end meaning still also created in this illusion. And the last big question I'm still having in my mind is, do I actually need to wake up? Do I need this? I don't know. I feel my life is great. If there wasn't this big thing around the corner which lurks and looks like it's waiting for me, this awakening thing, and I don't really want it. I don't know. Maybe my ego just does not want it, and some deeper part of me still wants it, so maybe it's inevitable. But what is actually the downside of not waking up? Life is life. I feel I'm so peaceful if I just do nothing. I don't know, sitting here, I can talk, I can not talk, that's also why I'm looking forward to this dark room retreat meditation, just finally having some time where I can do nothing for like a long time, and not just everybody around me running around and wanting things and just doing things, doing sport and everything, eating, cooking, just this everyday life. Sometimes it feels just not too much, but unnecessary to a degree. And happiness really for me does not reside in all those external activities and things. I feel I've already reached a quite solid internal state of happiness, but then I ask myself the question, why do I even go for this? Like, what are the benefits? Like, really, should we go shoot for like more happiness or contentment or whatever? But understanding, why do we need understanding? Understanding is ultimately useless anyways. It's all infinite nothingness holding itself up, turning itself inside out, and playing with itself, eating itself, destroying itself, killing, growing, eating. It's crazy, huh? Talking to a camera, talking to myself, probably. I don't know. I'm talking bullshit, probably. Whatever. Yeah. So this is maybe also a call for help from you. Let me know. Please share your journeys, your answers, your ideas with me. If you are struggling, just only because I'm talking to the camera here, and that I struggle as much as everyone else, and yeah, this is, probably could have told you many more things, but this is what I want to say for now. And not to make it too long, stop here, and yeah, please leave me a comment. I hope you liked the video. If so, do your usual thing, share it, like it, and see you soon.